Okay, reports, administration.
We'd like to have Segna go first. That's okay. I think she's ready.
Segna's ready. Ready.
This is Segna Burkhofer. She's been the teacher that's really been the years behind the Successful Reading Plus program. So she's going to spend a few minutes with you, just kind of walk you through kind of what the program looks like and something that she does with our Reading Plus program. So I'm going to turn things over to Segna.
Okay. First of all, I'll just let you see my screen or my screen. This is sometimes what you feel like when technology doesn't work exactly how you want it. Okay. But basically, when we started the idea of working with this, and Kevin approached me that this was going to the English survey, like I said to him earlier today, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the last semester I'm going to be teaching, and they want me to go into something brand new. Technology, no less. And then I really got into it, and it's really been a good program. And Lisa, I'm going to ask you to be my information overload manager, because we got to talking one day down at the station, and poor lady couldn't get away from me. So it's a matter of when we work with this, the kids go in, it is all individual. And they are working to build their comprehension. They're working to build their reading speed so that they are focused on what they are supposed to be doing, rather than, as they say, kids' ideas and minds kind of go off in different directions if it isn't right geared to something that's keeping their interest. And it also then builds endurance so that they can stay a little bit longer and work with the information. Some kids have a very short attention span to begin with, and as they work with this, they get interested, they get to finding that they can do a good job, and they work with this. Now, on my computer, each day when I go into class, what I do is I pull up this screen, and that is on my screen during the entire class period, and over to this right-hand side, they will flag any student who is having trouble. It will also give me a flag on a student who has done well or has made improvement, and also any student who has advanced or has leveled up to get a certificate. So that I can go in right away, take a look at what the concern might be, and it gives me a message then of what the problem is, what I need to do in order to work with that student immediately. Now, if it's something that continues, then they do contact me from the program, and this is what I thought was really good. I've gotten several emails from the manager who has said, I have noticed that so-and-so is struggling, that they're not doing such, the level that they really should be at this point. Let's change their program so that they can go with guided and independent reading, or we can just put them into guided, because guided will keep them more centered and more focused on what needs to be done. Now, as we work with this, the guided reading basically comes in two different parts. It is a little story presentation. It's not extremely long. But this is the independent reading part. And what it does is it puts the information on the screen, and it adds a line as they go until it has the full screen. Once it's the full screen, it starts to take those lines away, so that the student has to try and keep up with what's being presented on the screen. Then they work with the guided reading, where you have these blue strips, and what happens is they go across the screen. And sometimes they're pretty fast, and all you see are these words as it moves across. And then it'll take the next line of the story, and you'll go along with that. And what I have found is that their guided reading increase per minute is higher than what their independent is. It's a matter of if they're pushed to do it and concentrate on it, they will improve with that much faster than they will just the independent. And if I could have put the computer up, I would have shown you where the level is on students for their increase in guided, and where the little dots show they do their independent, which usually are scattered down below. But this will then test them. They go through and they have different questions. There is a reread button right here that they use. that if they want to go back and look at the material again, they can. The first thing that they were afraid of was that it would hurt them, that it would count against them. And I said, no, good readers go back and check what they didn't get. And they can go back and they can reread. Then when the results come up, they get a score here, and what they need is 70% or better in order to be able to record it. And this also tells them in this area right here what their independent reading is, what the goal is, guided reading, and what the goal is for that then. So that they have something that they're working towards. Now, what they do when they get their 70% or better is to put it into the red notebook. And basically, they put what lesson it was, the date, what their score was, and if they did do any rereads. And we have, I think, one young man who has 43, which puts him over into this column, and we have two young ladies who are at 34, who puts them into this column with their reading and their 70 percentiles. We try to create an incentive with this, and if they get 3 70% in a row in a given week, we call it a PowerPoint. And again, on the computer, I could have shown you the chart that we would use. It's in my room. And if they get those 3 70s in a row in a given week, they get that PowerPoint. And once they get 6, then they're going to get a free day. They can go and we'll give them like maybe Scrabble to play, or sorry, or aggravation. Just let them relax for a day. They put in a lot of hard work, they put in some time, and we thought that they deserved that. Then once they have 9 PowerPoints in the semester, we decided that any of those students then would be allowed to watch a movie as a free thing on one of the days, to give them a goal or an incentive to kind of work towards, besides the incentive for their leveling up. Now, with this, we also have what is called the Close Plus program, which then gives them story or information in the science and social studies area, and it will ask them questions. So once they've gone through guided reading on a given day, it puts them into this program, and they're now reading social studies material and science material. Because I had one young lady say, well, I really don't like to read. I said, that's not the point. The point here is that it's going to help you learn to read in your different areas of study in the other classes, so that you will be able to comprehend and understand what's going on in there, not just to read fiction. It will help you there as well, but this is really our goal. And so they go through these, and then that's another score that we keep. There is a third one called Reading Around Words, which is simply vocabulary. It will bring up words, put them into sentences, give them a choice of what it is that they need to choose from for a meaning for that. So basically, those are the 3 programs that we work with on this. As they begin, what we find, or what we have is, I'm going to make you seasick, this particular chart, which, if it were our students, would show you exactly where they began, what grade level. And this would show you that this particular student entered in at a 3rd grade level, because we give them a pretest at the very, very beginning to see what level to start them at. They start here, and then this student has improved to an 8th grade level at 74%. Now, we didn't have anybody at grade level. We had one student who was 1 grade level below, and the majority of them were below 5 levels, practically. We now have one young man who has reached the 9th grade level right here. I said to the AEA representative, what do I do when he gets through with this one? Because he's really doing well. She said, look at where he's having trouble, and then you can go back and intervene at that level. I went in to look, he's short in one area. He's doing so well in all of the areas. He started out, I think, back here at about the 5th grade level.